Hey everyone, AEW All Out just ended, kind of. It just ended for me because I just got back from the arena, but what an event it was. I apologize if I'm whispering. It's like 1:30 in the morning at my hotel. I'm not trying to wake my fellow neighbors at this hotel, but man oh man, do I really need to talk about how awesome this pay-per-view was. This was a card that many people, including myself, complained about being put together quite at the last minute. It didn't seem to have as much oomph or build up as previous All Outs were. But as someone who attended the show live, I can 100% tell you that may have been the best show I've ever attended live. And it was by far the best pay per view or a wrestling event of the entire weekend. Like, at the end of the day, I know people get mad about it. I know there's a lot of YouTubers and what have you, like, out there who are going to get mad about this, right? But AEW always puts on a banger of a pay per view, and we can nitpick and we can say that, oh, we didn't like this part, or oh my god, Tony Khan, you could have booked this better. But at the end of the day, that is one of the best pay per views I've seen in a long time. And I know I say this every time AEW has a pay per view, but man, oh man, they like AEW has cemented the fact multiple times that they are experts when it comes to putting on a big pay-per-view like show, making it feel like a big deal, making it be a big deal, and making you care and making it be must see. So I just want to say, like, again, I have not watched the feed of the pay-per-view back. I was there in attendance, so I can only provide my view of the crowd and my reading of the matches. So I didn't hear commentary, I didn't hear any of that. Let's start off with the pre-show. This was so Ty Mello and Sammy Guevara teaming up against Ortiz and Ruby Soho. This was a match that honestly didn't really need to be on this card. I understand they wanted to get they want to get Ortiz and Ruby Soho on the card, and that's fine. But they literally have had this match like the past two rampages or whatever. It just didn't seem like this needed to be added to this card. I liked everyone involved, and I thought Ruby Soho got an amazing reaction. She was awesome. At the end of the day, Sammy and Ty Mello retained, which what everyone expected. They did their spot where they kiss each other. It was really adorable, I guess, whatever, but everyone hated it. But overall, fine match. It was good thing it was on the pre-show. That's all I'll say. Next, we had Hook against Cool Hand Angelo Parker. So another good pre-show match, another good match, I think, to get Hook some exposure, to get people invested, I think, into Hook a little more. His first big title defense, if we're being honest, on a big pay-per-view like this. I know it was on 0 Hour, but it was still on a pay-per-view. Um, it really, I think, cemented him as an up and coming star in this business. Like he looked like a star. He felt like a star. He was fighting off two people at once, which we're seeing the evolution of Hook. Now he has multiple enemies that he has to fight at the same time, and he's still young, and he's only gonna get better. Anyway, I'm gonna try to run through these pre-show matches pretty quickly, honestly. Okay, this one I'm not going to because this was a banger. Pac versus Kip Sabian. Kip Sabian was over. It's weird because Pac was almost playing the heel in this feud, in this match, and Kip Sabian was a babyface. Kip was firing up the crowd. Kip was getting the biggest reaction from the crowd. Like the crowd still popped for Pac, but Kip Sabian was getting an insane reaction, like absolutely insane reaction. People wanted him to win this match. He didn't. Pac ended up hitting the red arrow, or the black arrow, I should say, 1, 2, 3, picked up the victory there. But honestly, like Kip Sabian probably should have won this match. But after the match, I think we kind of found out why that wasn't the case, because after the match we saw Orange Cassidy come out and confront Pac at the ramp, and Pac said, "No, no, no, we're not doing this again. You're not a wrestler. You're a bloody joke." And then he just ran off, and it's building up to a feud between them. Because remember, the first time AEW fans really saw Orange Cassidy wrestle was at that Revolution 2020 match with Pac. So they're kind of doing a callback from that. Orange Cassidy, I believe, has the most wins of any male wrestler in AEW. and Pac calling him a joke and not a wrestler, it gets to some of the criticisms that people like Jim Cornette have of Orange Cassidy, but it also like gives fuel to the fire because Pac knows what Orange Cassidy is. Pac knows that Orange Cassidy is a threat to him. So even though even though he got the victory here, I'm telling you, I think Orange Cassidy is about to win his first AEW title, and it's going to be the All Atlantic title whenever he takes it away from the bastard Pac. Moving on, the final, the final 0 hour pre-show match. There were like 15 matches on this show altogether. Absolutely, utterly insane, but it was a great night, and the crowd never got tired. Final pre-show match of the night was Tomohiro Ishii versus Eddie Kingston. I want to be clear when I say this. This match slapped both literally and figuratively. I know we said that about Sheamus versus Walter. This was on that level, if not maybe a little better. And again, I'm biased because I was there. But man, oh man, oh man, this was crazy, people. These guys were just chopping each other. Like, 3/4 of this match was just these two chopping each other in the chest. Eddie Kingston's chest was red. Tomohiro Ishii's chest was red. Neither man was going to give. I mean, at the end of the day, Eddie Kingston did pick up the victory over Ishii. And I think this might be building up towards a rubber match between these two because Ishii won the first one. Eddie Kingston now has won the second one. We might be getting another one down the line. I don't know when exactly that might be. Maybe they save it for next year's Forbidden Door and tell a bit of a story with it. I would like that. But man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Dude, this match was great. Like, if you didn't order the pay-per-view and you haven't seen 0 Hour, go check out this match. It is worth it. These two beat the ever-living crap out of each other, and I loved it. Main card time. Casino ladder match for a shot at the AEW World Heavyweight Championship at some point in the near future. So we knew 7 of the competitors going into it. It was Rush, Andrade, Dante, Martin. Rush. It's late. I'm getting my people mixed up. There were a lot of people wrestling on this show. And I'm also getting like messages right now from some people who are at the press conference. Okay, so you had Rush, Andrade, Rey Fenix, Penta, Dante Martin, Claudio, as well as Wheeler Yuta in this ladder match. It was crazy. We saw Penta do a Canadian Destroyer on a ladder wedged between the ring and the 8 barricade. We also saw Andrade do a power bomb onto onto Wheeler Yuta, I should say, building a bridge between the ladders. We saw Claudio lift up Andrade with 2 ladders. Go watch this match. It was crazy. Like and right before until the Joker came out, this was a hard-hitting, fast-moving match, and I just realized I have the Clash at the Castle bottom banner up. Whoops. But this was a fast-paced, fast-moving, action-packed match. I loved every second of it. And I think the biggest thing coming into this match was who is going to be the Joker. That's what everyone wanted to know. That's what was on everyone's mind. And there were a lot of people, myself included, who thought that it's possible it could be the one, the only Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. We'll hold on to that thought for a little bit, but at the end, we saw goons come out, like literal goons come out, who attacked everybody in the match, right? And this is right as the Joker card was about to come out. They attacked everyone, and all these masked goons climbed the ladder. One of them took the poker chip, revealed himself to be Stokely Hathaway, and which got a lot of people thinking, it's Stokely Hathaway. Who is it? Is it W. Morrissey? Is it Ethan Page? No. This masked figure comes out and takes the poker chip, wins the match. This masked figure was apparently the Joker. So we're left wondering who the Joker might be. And if you've seen the thumbnail of this video already, you already know who it is. But we'll hold on to that thought for just a minute because I need to describe the There was a lot of confusion when this happened in the arena. People were really mad. People in my section were pissed. Like they were like, how'd they ruined such a great match. And then I was telling them, I turned around, I was like, let it play out. Let it play out. And here I am thinking it's gonna play out on Dynamite, it's gonna play out on Rampage, it's gonna play out over the next few weeks. Didn't think it was gonna play out that night, right then and there, but it did. Moving on, we had the trios match for the Trios World Tag Team Championships. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks taking on Hangman Adam Page and the Dark Order. Okay. So, I am someone who has had the benefit of seeing Kenny Omega live once in my entire life. I was at Dynamite 1. It was great. It pales in comparison to what I saw from Kenny Omega. When people talk about who is the best in the world and they bring up Kenny Omega's name, they are justified. Because whether you're watching on TV, whether you're watching from the arena, whether you're watching from I don't even know, the Hubble telescope or whatever it's called, the Webb telescope right now. No matter where you're watching from, Kenny Omega might be the best pro wrestler there is right now. This is coming from a diehard Bryan Danielson fan. Kenny Omega might just be the best. He came into this match as a guy, the story they were telling was a guy who's broken, a guy who's trying to make a comeback. And he came in and he literally just was Kenny Omega. He didn't miss a beat. And I'm sorry, I'm looking at the notes I have for this match. Literally, the first thing I have written down here is great effing match. Not a person sitting down for Hangman v Omega. So there was the one point where Hangman Adam Page was in the match. Kenny Omega tags in. Everyone got up on their feet. Everyone got up on their feet in adulation as to what they were about to see. There was also a little bit of a story being told during this match of Hangman Adam Page trying to rein the Dark Order in a little bit, which I thought was really interesting because we've seen him treat the Dark Order not exactly in the best light as of recently. We've also seen the Dark Order kind of, almost hesitant, in their disagreements with Page. I don't know. They've been telling an interesting story that I've been keeping up with at least. Anyway, so he was trying to rein the Dark Order in because they were attacking the Young Bucks, and he would come up in between them saying, "No, don't attack them." He would tell them, "Don't attack them," and they were very confused and upset with it. And at the end of the day, that's one of the things that ended up costing them the match because Hangman Adam Page is just looking for the buckshot. And instead of hitting it on, I believe it was Nick Jackson, John Silver was holding him. Hangman goes for the buckshot. He misses. He hits John Silver. Kenny Omega pins John Silver 1, 2, 3. The Elite. The Elite are the inaugural AEW Trios Tag Team World Champions. However you say that. Great match. Go watch it, folks. Another match here. Jade and Athena. The first note I have for this match is F the fans for leaving during this match. There was a mass exodus. I took it kind of personally, I'm not going to lie, because this is one of the matches I was most excited for because I love Jade Cargill, and I thought that promo that Athena cut on the Go Home Rampage was absolutely amazing. It baffles me that was not put on Dynamite so more people could see it, so more people could be talking about it leading into the pay-per-view, but oh well, okay, whatever. I just thought that they could have done... I just thought look, AEW definitely could have done a better job of building this up, but after you see that promo from Athena, how could you not care about this match? Anyway, so Jade comes out dressed up as She-Hulk. That was so freaking cool. When we talk about stars, right? When we talk about superstars, you talk about stars in wrestling. Jade Cargill is a star who is on the precipice of superstardom. The crossover appeal is there. Her in-ring work is getting so much better. She's got the promo ability down. She's got the charisma. She's got it all. She is a 5-tool player in this wrestling thing, and she's so good. She's so good. You know who else is good, though? Athena. Athena, I think, got one of Jade's best matches out of her. Again, biased because I was in the crowd, so maybe there was some stuff that happened on TV that I wasn't privy to or I didn't really analyze as well from the angle that I was watching. but I thought this was a good match. At the end of the day, Jade had jaded 1, 2, 3, and Athena took a loss, but I think it was actually a pretty strong loss, if that makes sense. But we'll see what the follow up is. I hope Athena actually does end up being the one who ends Jade's TBS title reign. I think that would be a really cool story to tell, like her climb back to the top of and beating Jade. Anyway, next match, Wardlow versus FTR, or sorry, Wardlow and FTR versus Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns. Full disclosure, completely full disclosure, I went to the bathroom during this match, and I also went to go grab a Coke and some nuggets. So I missed like the first portion of this match. On my notes, I do have good opening. I did see the opening when FTR came out. I said good opening with Dax's daughter coming out because Sanjay Dutt had previously mentioned her, and that really fired up Dax on Rampage. So it was good that I think they called back to that. Um, and yeah, it was a good match. Wardlow did his powerbomb symphony. I mean, the like let's be honest here. The decision of who was going to win this match was never in question. It was always going to be Wardlow and FTR. FTR is arguably the best tag team in the world. Wardlow is a budding superstar, and look, Motor City Machine Guns are cool, but they're temporary guys. They're an impact. So it to me it made all the sense in the world the having the people who are here, the people who are on top, the people who are champions in your company win. But we also got a surprise. So as I'm coming back, I see, I hear, I should say, Samoa Joe's music, and I go running back to my seat. Samoa Joe returns and beats up Sanjay Dutt. Sanjay gets pinned by Dax's daughter, which I thought was a really cool spot. And the crowd goes crazy. Like FTR's over, Wardlow's over, everybody's over. It was so great. Yeah, good, really good match. Again, I wasn't there. I'll catch it on the replay eventually, but I thought it was pretty good from where I stood. Another match that I really looked forward to, Hobbs and Ricky Starks. I want to make this abundantly clear. Ricky Starks was so over. Like, everybody was chanting this man's name. Like, Powerhouse Hobbs got a pretty good pop, too, but Ricky Starks just got a monster pop. Everyone was cheering for him. The Ricky chants were echoing through the Now Arena. It was great. I thought Ricky man, there were so many times where I thought Ricky was about to win it when I thought he was about to hit the Rochambeau on Hobbs. That didn't end up happening. The end spot saw Ricky Starks do the the running of the ropes, kind of like I always call it the Roman Reigns because he did that spot against Taker at WrestleMania 33. So he was doing all that, and oh goodness, Punk has major heat. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Anyway, so he did the running of the rope spot with Will Hobbs. You thought he was about to hit him with a spear. Hobbs catches him, spine buster, spine on the pine. 1, 2, 3. Powerhouse Will Hobbs defeats Ricky Starks with a spine buster. Interesting. Again, I thought like these two worked together well. It accomplished what it needed to accomplish. I will say this though. I really wanted Ricky to win. I get why they're keeping Hobbs strong. Hobbs is like Hobbs probably needs the win more than Ricky does because Ricky's been winning a lot on TV. Hobbs really has been like I think he's had like one or two, actually one TV match since the breakup. So I get it. Moving on, we saw Swerve in Our Glory take on the Acclaimed. My notes for this match is everyone's over. The crowd was chanting at one point, or sorry, singing multiple points during this match. Oh, scissor me, daddy. Near falls were wild. Everybody was on their feet for casters. Okay, yeah. So we need to talk about this. So first of all, the Acclaimed were the over ones. The Swerve and Our Glory were getting booed during this match. Like, it's crazy, but like I also get why because the Acclaimed are just so awesome. Everyone loves the Acclaimed, right? It's their catchphrase, and it just happens to be true. But I thought that the way this match was put together was amazing. Near fall after 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 near fall. And you just didn't know who was going to come out with the victory. There were so many moments where I thought, oh, so they're just going to go with the Acclaimed because it makes so much sense. The crowd is ready for it. Everyone wants this to happen. They didn't end up doing that, but Man, oh man, oh man, was it like the atmosphere was just something else. It was a whole nother level. Everybody was so into this match, and there was the moment that Max Caster picked up Keith Lee in a fireman's carry and delivered like the fu to him. Every single person stood up out of their seat in that arena. All 10,000 of them, however many there were, stood up out of their seat and in awe, jaws dropped. It was awesome. No other way to put it. At the end of the day, though, Swerve in Our Glory did pick up the victory. Swerve picked up the pinfall. The Acclaimed looked really good in this match. I really want they look really good, and I think we might be seeing a little bit of a tag team rivalry. Like this should be like. Here's my thing: if we get multiple tag team matches with these teams over the next few months, I'm not gonna be mad. Not at all. If they swap the titles once or twice, I won't be mad at all because I like these two. They have great chemistry in the ring. Let's do this again, people. Let's do this again. I really want to see these guys go at it again. We have Ravens Flock in the chat saying haircut looks fresh, dude. Thank you, great show. Thank you, Ravens Flock. Also got Juggernaut saying what's up. What's up, Juggernaut? Not much is up. Again, guys, I apologize for my whispering. I am trying to keep it down so I don't get a noise complaint in my hotel. Because again, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever, or 1 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, it's late. Not trying to annoy the people in the hotel room next door. But guys, put your questions in the chat. We are rolling through this pay-per-view because it was a doozy. Next, we have the fatal four-way match for the AEW Interim Women's World Championship. Toni Storm, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Jamie Hayter, and my favorite, Hikaru Shida. Okay, so I want to be clear about this. My notes here are Hayter got a big pop. Crowd was behind Tony and Hayter for the most part. Britt Baker got booed. And Hikaru Shida had like about two spots, basically. Had two main spots where she got cheered. The biggest point of tension in this match was going to be how Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker either get along. Can they coexist in this match where they're both competing for a singles title? At the end of the day, we found out that that was not the case. They could not coexist because as Jamie Hayter goes for the pinfall victory, like she hit her finishing move, she was about to win the match. Britt Baker, what does she do? She pulls the referee out. And then she goes for a pinfall on Jamie Hayter, who ended up kicking out. But I think that we're about to see the Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter feud that people have been begging for a while, and I'm here for it. Hikaru Shida had a spot where she got taken out and then came back out from the back, like after getting medical attention with two kendo sticks and started whooping butt. It was awesome. She is like my favorite. She's definitely my favorite women's wrestler right now, but she's so cool. I was really trying to get the crowd behind her. I was like doing the "Let's Go Sheeta" chants for my section. A few people joined in, but it be like that. It be like that. I'm a mark. Anyway, but at the end of the day, Toni Storm, as many people predicted, did pick up the victory here, and it was well deserved. Toni Storm she's so good, and in AEW she's proving a lot of people wrong. Like a lot of people who thought that when she left WWE it was because she wasn't good enough. She proved every single person there wrong, and she's the champion or the interim champion. But I don't know. Like I know a lot of people like to don't put stock in the interim thing. I do. And I think if you're a defending champion, even if you're the interim champion, like in my eyes, you are the real world champion. Like I did the same thing with Moxley. I'm probably going to end up doing the same thing with Toni Storm. That match to unify the titles is going to be very interesting, though, whenever Thunder Rosa is ready to return. Next, we saw Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage. Not much of a match, more so of an angle. So Christian Cage comes out first. He berates Jungle Boy's family at ringside, as he has done so many times in the past. As Jungle Boy Jack Perry comes out, we see Luchasaurus enter from the heel entrance, and Jungle Boy looks shocked, and he chokeslams Jungle Boy on the ramp. He then beats him to the ring, and then he picks him up, power bombs him, chokslams him through the announce table. and he just throws him to Christian, who hits a kill switch. 1, 2, 3. Very quick match. Jungle Boy Jack Perry lost because of Luchasaurus, someone who originally aligned himself with Christian, who then apparently aligned himself back with Jungle Boy, but apparently that was all a ruse. And I know that there were a lot of people who thought that, myself included. Like, we thought that the fact that the fact that Luchasaurus had never touched Christian Cage the entire time kind of showed you maybe they're playing the long con here on Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and that's exactly what the story was. That's exactly what they were doing, and it worked for Christian at this point. Look for these two to definitely run it back though, and look. Hey man, here's the thing: if they're gonna end up rebuilding Christian's coalition with Luchasaurus being the big heater for Christian, I want that. Let's do it. Let's do that, and let's get Dante Martin to be the next, to be the AJ Styles of this group, because he's really that damn good. Let's go all in on it. Y'all let me know what you guys think though in the chat. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Again, sorry about the voice. Trying to keep it down. It is very late. Not trying to annoy the hotel neighbors. Moving on. We got okay, yeah. So this match, there were so many matches on this. I keep forgetting that I was at this event and I'm still like, oh my god, yeah, that happened too. So the greatest wrestler of all time, Bryan Danielson, took on Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho came out as Lionheart. Notes on this match are, I got one of my wrestling like bucket list things was being part of a "you're gonna get your effing head kicked in" chant for Bryan Danielson. I lived that tonight, and because it was a very loud chant, people were really, really into this match. People were really into Bryan. There were a few Jericho people in my section, which was cool. Because look, Jericho the wrestler is great. Um, I did think though it was pretty funny. At one point, someone in there was this one Jericho fan who was saying something really obnoxious about Bryan's wife, which wasn't great. And look, I don't condone going after people's families. Although this comment or this one thing that someone said actually screamed in our section really, really did it popped me. I'm not gonna lie. So after that bad heckler said something honestly just obscene about Bryan's wife, he this other dude yells, "Hey Jericho, where was your wife on January 6th?" And I was like, "Oh, that's a great question, Jericho. Where was she?" I mean, look, at the end, all in good fun, but oof, 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 and yeah, the Jericho people had very little to say after that in our section. Either way, look, going back to the match, good match. Bryan was a technician. I got to see the master at work. He was exactly what I expected him to be. Jericho ended up picking up the victory after a low blow and then hitting the Judas effect, 1, 2, 3, and afterwards, the Jericho Appreciation Society came out and they were not flanked by Danny Garcia. In a promo following that, Daniel Garcia was asked about it, and Jericho said, "Hey, you're wrestling Wheeler Yuta for the Pure Championship this week on Dynamite, and the Jericho Appreciation Society is not going to be there to support you." So, a little bit of a rift between those two right now. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I really do think that Daniel Garcia is I would like to see him in the Blackpool Combat Club, but at the same time, I really do like Wheeler Yuta being the one, kind of young buck in that club. But I mean, you could also argue at this point Wheeler Yuta. I think there's no one in pro wrestling who has grown more in the last 6 months than Wheeler Yuta. This dude has completely reinvented himself. He went from a joke in the Best Friends, or not even a joke, I should say, but just a nobody in the Best Friends, to someone who feels important, someone who feels like a threat, and someone who the fans want to see win. and are invested in, which is exactly what you want to do and how you want to build up a young guy. So maybe Daniel Garcia can become the next, like, well, not the next Wheeler Yuta, because a lot of people already think he's really good, and Daniel Garcia's been spotlighted like that over the past year, but I don't know, maybe he can take another spot in there. We'll see. Moving on, House of Black versus Darby Allin, Sting, and Miro. My notes on this match are Malachi Black. Okay, so I actually do want to talk about the most noteworthy thing from this match. Like, Sting ended up, the finish was Sting throwing mist in Malachi Black's face, distracting him. So Darby Allin hit the coffin drop, 1, 2, 3. The House of Black fall to Darby Allin and Sting and Miro. At the end of the match, Miro separated himself from Darby Allin and Sting and just kind of looked dejected, as if he was the one who wanted to pick up the victory. And that was kind of the story they were telling in the match. But the real thing that people are talking about happened after this. So and this wasn't shown on the pay-per-view, I don't think, because they were showing like another promo, but everyone in the building was focused solely on Malachi Black, who he hugged Brody King, he hugged Buddy Matthews, he hugged Julia Hart, and then he got a standing ovation from everyone in the crowd, and he took a bow, and he kissed, and he blew a kiss, and I know nothing about what his future is. We know the reports that there were reports that he maybe wasn't the happiest at AEW, that he was going through some stuff, that maybe he needed to step away from pro wrestling. Those are some of the reports we've seen. I'm not going to super aggregate those right now, but given all of that, and I think the way it came across to people in the arena, including myself, it did seem like some form of goodbye, whether it's a short-term thing or a long-term thing. I have no idea, but that's really what it seemed like to me. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, finally, by God, finally, Jon Moxley, CM Punk, AEW World Title in Chicago at All Out. Biggest stage you can have this at. This felt like a big fight feel. This had a big fight feel. This felt like a main event. This felt every bit as important as AEW wanted it to be. Like, I felt like I was watching like a UFC primetime main event. This was WrestleMania. Like, this was it. This was the match you wanted to see. The crowd was electric. There were way more Moxley fans than I thought there were going to be. I was on Team Moxley for tonight, and the CM Punk people let me hear it. My section, by the way, was like very pro Moxley, which was more pro Moxley, I should say, than I think most sections were. But there were dueling chants. Like, of course, CM Punk got the loudest ones, but Moxley got some pretty loud chants too. And story of the match was trying to make CM Punk look like the babyface, which it accomplished during the match. I think the media scrum, he might have done the exact opposite, but I'll talk about that in a separate video. But man, oh man, oh man, like Jon Moxley, CM Punk went out there, did a war. Punk got color. Moxley was attacking that leg. There were so many times he hit the Death Rider. Punk kicks out. Punk's hit a GTS early on in the match. Moxley kicks out. People thought that maybe they were going to do like a reverse of what happened a few weeks ago in Cleveland. That was not the case. Man, the crowd was so into this match, guys. Like, this was so cool. Like, just being there, being in that atmosphere. I was jumping up out of my seat. People were jumping. Like, this was absolutely remarkable what we were seeing. Again, Moxley was attacking the leg of Punk, the injured leg that he injured in LA, and then in Cleveland again where he re-injured it. So, yeah, this was great. I loved it. And at the end, we saw Punk hit Moxley with a GTS. Moxley Moxley falls over onto Punk's shoulders again as Punk's kneeled down, and he looks around. The crowd's chanting one more time. He picks him up on his shoulders once again. GTS, 1, 2, 3. CM Punk retains. He is the new undisputed AEW World Heavyweight Champion. I'm all right with the decision. This was probably going to happen anyway. I'm just glad that Moxley's title reign was actually validated and stands in time. Like, I think that was honestly worth what they did 2 weeks ago in Cleveland, and it made this honestly a more compelling story. So I'm all for it. As Punk is celebrating, though, lights go down. Ready now. MJF returned. Oh, wow. So Maxwell Jacob Friedman had not been seen since the Dynamite LA show following Double or Nothing. He comes out and he reveals himself to be the masked figure who won the poker chip, and he's reunited himself with Stokely Hathaway, which I believe they had some sort of relationship when he was in MLW a few years ago. So MJF comes out, guys, absolute bedlam. People were jumping. Like this was crazy. Nothing like it. You'll never see anything like it. It was absolute madness when he came out. This die-hard Chicago crowd that loves CM Punk so much were all on their feet chanting MJF when he came out. That is the power of MJF that not many people like. I mean, that people talk about, but like I don't think we emphasize enough. There is no one in pro wrestling that can manipulate an audience better than Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Like, he is the best at it. It's not even close. Like, he can have you hating him 1 minute and have you eating out of the palm of his hand the next minute. This dude is so freaking good. He comes out, he has the poker chip, and he signals to Punk that he wants that belt. My thing is this. I really want to see this match, but I don't want to see it until Full Gear. Because I know that the poker chip, usually you get the match at the next big show. The next really big show is going to be AEW Grand Slam in New York. I want Maxwell Jacob Friedman to come out on Dynamite and say, I'm not going to cash in this poker chip until November. I'm not going to cash it in until I can go to Newark, New Jersey, which is close enough to Long Island that you can be like, hometown vibes? I don't know, sure. But I'm not going to cash it in until I go to Newark, New Jersey, and I want to challenge him at the biggest event I can, which is Full Gear. Do that. That's when the match should be. Hold it off. Have that be lingering in the back of Punk's mind. Have MJF come out to all of Punk's matches with the poker chip in hand and just talk about how on November 19th or whatever it's going to be in Newark, New Jersey, he is going to beat CM Punk for the AEW World Championship. That should be the story. That's how they should do it. We will talk more about this over the next coming days. You can rest assured, but AEW All Out 2022 was insane. Again, in my opinion, the best show of the weekend. People online can definitely disagree with that. You're entitled to your own opinion, but I thought this was great. Going to it live, I think, made it even better. If you've never been to an All Out live in Chicago, I highly recommend you do so. Like, this was a fun experience, totally worth all of the Uber surcharges that there were. Although I was able to kind of circumvent that a little bit, but I'll leave my secrets for another stream. Anyway, guys, this has been AEW All Out. If I have to give the pay-per-view out of 10, 9.5. This was great. I thought it was like nearly a perfect show, honestly. And again, feel free to disagree though in the comments section. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Guys, this was fun. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, and keep it real.